All right, so we got ourselves some Desert Kid coffee, illuminated box, basically a blade thing that sticks off the wall. It's got to clear this little foam decorative thing they got there. That's already there. It's a little structural thing. So ours is going to mount there, goes through the wall, et cetera, et cetera. So, but yeah, so I think you guys kind of got the idea, but I'll show you what I was thinking, my thought processes, and what's on my mind grapes. So with that being said, let's get after it. So lay of the land. I did the main box body out of 09. And then you have these two long boys. These are to rivet together the white on white LED tray. But otherwise, this all here is just for the main structure. And then we're going to do a single banger. I'm pretty sure a single banger will handle this. And then to keep it lightweight, I went ahead and did 063 skins on the sides. So that way, just to keep it a little lighter. You'll have sort of a main plate that it mounts to. And then these are the little bracket boys there. Keep an eye out for these little squares. We'll go over that. And then this is your front to back side, and all of that. 063 white. And then we're going to stay with this on the front. But as you know, we're switching over to backed up. So these two port and starboard will just be backed up white acrylic. Shouldn't be any different for that. And of course, this is changing. So only this will be the pushy. So we got ourselves a little bit of a installation. While I'm here, like I said, the whole idea is that it's important that this sign is 96 from the bottom to the ground. So the way we built it this way, instead of 36, it's 34. This should put it at 98 at the bottom. But for install, what you want to do is take that base plate and make sure that it's up against that decorative coping, like it is here. So that way it goes bonk. And then you put that base plate up against that. That should give you 98 from the bottom there to the ground. If not, this base plate might need to be chopped a little bit and maybe chop it a little more. Whatever you need to do to bring that up to 96 to the bottom, minimum 96. 98 is great. If everything works, this should be 98. But using this pattern here, if you measure from there to the bottom and it's not 98 or 9, then you might need to slide this up a little bit or even cut a little bit of this plate off, because you got to get this up, and bottom. And then you'll have your choice. Either one, you'll have a single power going in. So we'll go over that. So for fab, you're just going to put together this box here, lords the two faces on, and then for stability, just to be able to bend it, you're just going ahead and chop these out like we do. So that way the whole backside is completely open once you get this all fabricated. And again, don't set up any okie doke for anybody. So make sure that's all cleaned up nice. Nobody gets hurt. And then, like I said, I got these little strips. You'll bend those up, and then you're just going to rivet a 3-sided little white box. I was going to do it in one piece, but these are longer and this is shorter. It would have been kind of funky. So this gives it a little bit more structure anyway. So you're going to make this box. And then when you go to make the base plate, you're going to go ahead and get the base plate, and you're going to go ahead and take these little nugget boys here and tack that, and then slide the mounting bars. You have these two guys here. These are 3x3 by 3/16. So those are just a little bit over 12. And you're going to burn those to the backside. This is going to have island fills. The whole idea is that the island fills allow clearance for the steel 5/16 riv nuts. So this whole cabinet, gets the 5/16 riv nut treatment all the way around. So the box mounts that way. And then install goes and puts that up there. And then that way the box will sit flush as it can against that. And that has those clearances. So you can theoretically put this the other way and have those going the other way. And that we kind of don't want that. So make sure that the island fills face out. And then these guys go on the backside. So those are through dog bones that allow you to reference those. And then you're just going to burn those sticks to that, and then give it a good burn, nice and healthy. And then you're going to slide that plate on, and you're going to go ahead and burn the plate to those sticks. And that'll give you that whole mounting system there with the large 1/4-inch plate going all the way up. So that's what gets put to the wall first. And then, like I said, install. you're going to bonk that against that foam structure, the decorative structure. But if you have to, you might have to modify that a little bit to make sure that you're at least 96. So keep an eye out there. Then you're going to put the 3-foot rods. Those showed up from McMaster. I got a confirmation there. Those go through. You put the hardware on there, and we're going to do the sandwich like we do. But I gave you 2 power holes down on the bottom. So you're just going to have to try to snake. You got 12 inches there. Do what you can to snake the wire. So when you create this box here, and you got, a single leash, you're going to have to chase it through to one of those sides there. And then for install, same thing. You can either do both holes, or you can take a look to see which side the wire's coming out and drill that on your pattern. So then once you get this 1/4-inch plate boy all welded up and you got this plate on there, then you're just going to lords on this piece of 09, and it'll lords in on this side, on the front side, with the big Clecos, the 193s, and then that is the mounting spot for the white box. So the white box just slides on there, and you can go ahead and nail it down. So that's that. So that gets installed kind of as one piece. The light box, you can see it, like it'll be right there. You'll have that light box on there, have it all wired up. They'll take that bracket and that bracket, like right there, put it on the wall, and then they'll just take this box and then slide it over, and then it's 5/16 from the backside that nobody will see. So anyway, so yeah, I mean, we've kind of done things like that. And then the mounting bar, again, pretty easy, but for the size of this thing, the unistrut, if we're using 3/4 rod like this with the hardware, this is 1.125. So install, make sure you bring your big crescent wrench or your big sockets or whatever, but that's 1.125. So nut size. So, but in order to do that properly, unistrut was already too small. You couldn't even barely get the bar through unistrut, what I could find. So I figured we'd just do this. So if you cut these at 48 inches, which I think there's enough room on that wall, if the studs are 16 on center like I have laid out, what's kind of cool is that you'll always have at least 3. If we cut them at 48, and for some reason you are able to put the sign dead center in the bay here, then it actually will span all 4, which is kind of cool. But this way, even if it's all the way over here, you're always going to be on 3 studs. Even if it's all the way to this side of this bay, you'll have 3 studs. And bring a saw, because if you have to, and this is up against a corner or something, because it's sort of in the middle. I think you have a doorway here, and then you have the corner of the building here. So this might not have enough room, or you could twist them. You could actually give it a rotate action, kind of like that, if you have to make it fit or whatever. But anyway, bring provisions to, modify these if you see. But the idea at 48 inches does give you at least 3 studs to cover. And this will be a lot more powerful than unistrut, I think, too. So, but yeah, you're just going to cut these, and then fab, go ahead and throw I brought in a silver and Deming bit. I might be over there today. If not, if you look, there's a box that has the Desert Kids for McMaster car. But it has a this is a 13/16, right? Yeah. 13/16 hole. And you put that in the center, and then you're just going to take that 1/4-inch plate that I was telling you keep an eye out for, and you're just going to burn that around. So it's going to like stack up. So it's like a washer that's going to give it that extra, because this is already what we already brought in. It's almost 3/8 thick, and then it's 5/16, close enough. And then you're going to throw another 1/4 on there. So this way, this will have some nice beef. Now I understand everyone's yelling. It's like, well, that heat affects it, blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah, it does, but it'll be all right. I'm pretty sure for what we're doing here. So that's the mount bar. Yeah. So you got 2/48 of the weird stuff. And then plus we'll be able to keep that. I figured we might do this again at some point. So, and then you got your 2 boys there. But otherwise, yeah. And then, like I say, over here, you had a funky font. You don't have to worry so much about it now because these are not push through. But the D's and the E's here are different weirdo. It's a weirdo font. So make sure you kind of keep an eye out which one goes to which when you lay it out. So, but anyway, yeah, I think you guys got the idea. Pretty straightforward. We've kind of done things like this before. But anyway, so I think that's it. Got that welded up. Make sure that's all strong. Good luck wiring. Putting a little wire through all that. So, but otherwise, hopefully if there's no other issues, you guys probably got it knocked out probably even before I post this video. So anyway, we'll see. But if you have any questions, hit me up.
Check the technique. Check the technique.